Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cantina MX Football Podcast. I'm your host tonight, Jaime Landeros. Back with episode 302. We have a lot to cover. World Cup qualifiers, third match, Liga MX, and the Leagues Cup that just ended right now. Heartbreaking loss for Santos. Get eliminated by Ruidías and the Seattle Sounders. So the gap is closing. But before I go any further, let me welcome my comrade, Joel. Joel, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I've been fighting the good fight for Professor Buse, who's is under attack.
Yes.
He's under attack by the Che Hermanos, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But yeah, it's interesting seeing how like just football, how it's changing a bit, and sometimes we don't see it, sometimes it's obvious. So like we're seeing Barcelona right now,
Oh
shadow
boy.
of what they used to be. No more Messi getting smacked around at home by Bayern, so that's sort of like you see some of these big teams fall. They have to rebuild themselves.
They are a shadow of a former club. I think like them and Chivas have something in common right now. They're just broke, don't have any money. And
Yes, exactly. Yes.
it's crazy. It's crazy to see like last year you had Messi, you had Griezmann. At one point you had, Luis Suarez, Coutinho, Neymar. Now they they lined up with like Luke De Jong and Memphis, aka Meat Pie Depay. He had a spell at Manchester United, and it didn't really go well for Memphis Depay, and they started calling him Meat Pie because I guess he was eating a lot of meat pies. He was getting a little thick, so that nickname's always stuck around for me. I just thought it was funny, but we had some World Cup qualifiers in between our last episode. I remember Chiquis predicted that we were going to beat Panama. Unfortunately, our 2-game winning streak ended just there at 2 games. Panama scored early in the 28th minute, and Tecatito got us out of trouble in the 76th minute, which leaves Mexico with 7 points, top of the World Cup qualifiers in CONCACAF. And we were looking forward to seeing Honduras beat USA. They were up 1-0, but I got to give credit to the States. They came back in the second half. Ricardo Pepi, the player that decided to choose the United States over Mexico, was a big influencer in that game. And USA flipped the script, won 4-1, and that puts them in third position. So no memes for the USA team, unfortunately.
Yeah, and when qualifiers started, the whole talk was on will Tata survive, and of course it was the media pushing this narrative of he lost the plot and Selección is going nowhere because they lost 2 finals, but they've been on the right track, and I think they could stay the course and stay as leaders of the qualifiers. If not, and in the case they don't, I still feel that they will not go through any hardships.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. It's not pretty, but we're getting the results, and that's all that matters in the end. No one's ever going to think about, oh, did you remember that World Cup qualifier in 2020? Mexico played like shit. Like, no one's ever going to remember that. Everyone's going to remember the World Cup that we got into in Qatar. And that's what ends up like you just want to qualify. You want to win at all costs. And winning 2 out of the 3 matches, considering the fact that 2 of them were on the road. I mean, those are some pretty good. Those are some pretty good results. 7 points, you're on top, and I think they can breathe a little bit easily now.
Yes, yes, they can. And Tata, I think he's. I don't know why his whole continuation was put in doubt because he's been fairly consistent, and if you compare him to previous procesos, he's up there. It's not like it's the team was a disaster. Um, then for the U.S., we do have to give them massive credit. They started, bad. Everyone was expecting them to be like a runaway truck and just smash through the whole competition. Uh, but it was the opposite, and they started off pretty bad, and everyone was like, U.S. fans were already forgotten those Mexico wins, and they were up in arms. They wanted Beerhalter out, and what makes their win massive was they went into Honduras with missing a lot of key players, like three or four,
Yep.
and yeah, and they pulled out a massive win, and for Honduras, you have to see this is where these Central American teams have sort of like they shoot themselves in the foot because these are the type of games that they shouldn't be losing, you know, and so it must be very disheartening for a Catracho side to get their asses handed to them like that by a very young U.S. team. As you said, Pepe came in and he's 18 years old and he just smacked them around. So that's and like you said, it puts U.S. in third, Mexico first, Canada in second. So the three teams that will be hosting in 2026 right now, leading the group, uh, leading the qualifiers. But I think with that win, it sort of like I guess it gives that I there was I wanted to give an example because you see the fans that were like talking all this mad shit all of a sudden over two games. So this guy had been, you know, um, pretty much they didn't want him. A lot of the fans wanted Tata, and I felt they needed someone better.
Hmm.
I felt him winning those Leagues Cup and Gold Cup. I felt it was like he's on the right path. And so the qualifiers start, and it's two games in, and it's like, see, he sucks. Uh, we knew it. He sucks. And but now he wins this one game, and they're in third, and now it's like comfort. And now it's like, I guess people are still gonna be skeptical, but imagine if some other coach had come in and it gets the exact same result.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they kept him and he got that big win, but if they could have fired him and the other coach would have probably not changed anything and gotten that massive win, and that guy would have been stuck with that whole like stigma, this whole thing that he didn't know what he was doing. And so we see that happen a lot. It's happening to our boy Nacho in Spain,
Oh boy.
and it's sad to see the Mexican media jumping on this.
Yeah.
So he won his first. He has 5 games with
Mm-hmm.
Huesca, I think is the
Weska.
team.
Yep.
He has 5 games. He won the first two,
He won the first
and the
two.
last
Yep.
yeah, and the last three they have been defeats.
In a
And
row.
already
Mm-hmm.
it's like yeah they want him out, and it's like I doubt after 3 games that are but that's just how the media is here. They like to they feed off of that negative stuff. But it's to me I find it sad instead of like seeing some support. It's the opposite, man. They're like they saw that dude fall and they just run in to get some kicks in.
I got a bone to pick with
And
Medio Tiempo and was it Record? It was probably Record because they're trash. Like, they post this article, saying that they're already asking for his resignation. And you click on the link to the article and they're literally like quoting like a Twitter response that has no likes from just like a random, Twitter account. Like you can't be like making those kind of headlines and then
and,
it's just
and
like somebody trolling in the that's like if I went on Twitter right now and said something and then they're using my quote as like this is official, like the fans that have spoken. Like, no, I'm just some guy trolling online.
And again, most people won't do that. Most people won't check or follow up. They read the headline and then that's it.
Yeah,
They
that's
move
it.
on and they take it as that. And it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. But I think, you know, I think Nacho, he's not a bad coach. People can already say that he doesn't know what he's doing. He spent a long time in Spain with Aguirre, with
Osasuna.
Atletico de Madrid and Osasuna.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in Liga MX. He's been around. He's had really good coaches. He knows he knows what's up. But people can say, oh, because he's Liga MX. That's another argument I've heard. Oh, that like now he's in La Liga and he sucks. And again, that's even that I wouldn't. I don't buy into that. I've seen many Spanish coaches come to Liga MX and not do anything. Uh, we've all seen it, not just from La Liga, but from other leagues come in and choke. So a lot of times it's not just the league; it's the team you got. It's so many things that you have to factor in. It could be, is the locker room a mess? Are the players getting along? Did you lose your best players or are they injured? It's always so many things that could go wrong, and I find that it's just become easy to just blame the coach, like, oh, he's not doing the right lineup or he's not doing this. But there's like this whole laundry list of things going on that of course they're not going to tell you. Teams are not going to reveal like what could be their weaknesses.
Yeah, my only issue with this experiment with Nacho Ambriz is like, look, man, he's not just a scrub. Like this guy, like you mentioned, has European experience as an assistant coach. He was manager of the year in Liga MX for two consecutive like seasons, and he won a Champions League with America, and he won a league with Leon. I mean, this guy should not be peddling in the second division of Spain like this. And I'm just like, and now he's off to like a rough start or whatever, and it's just like, wow, you know what I mean? Like he could have just stayed in Mexico, or he could have done something better in his career, and I feel like he took a really step down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I agree with you. He shouldn't. But if you want to be in Europe, you have to pay the dues. And I think it's been very little Mexican coaches that have taken that risk. Aguirre is the only one for many years. And so for Nacho to be doing it, if he does well, he helps open that door. But at the end of the day, you need more coaches to take those risks. And we see Gonzo. I mean, he's in he's in MLS, but still, I'm pretty sure he'll probably try something like that down the line. I could see him making that move.
I feel like this might turn into like a Bob Bradley situation. He finally coached in the Prem League, and they pulled him like within, I don't know, like he only coached like maybe like a handful of games before he got fired. So
Yeah, well, I mean, but Premier League, but I think I mean, Gonzo, I would, and I would say he could do like a Nacho where he's going to second division.
yeah, yeah. So kind of to wrap up the Mexico qualifier thing. Yeah, I mean everything looks good. We had talked about in the last episode how you know it makes sense. Mexico, Canada, and USA, they're gonna everything's gonna be done in their power to make it to this one. To prove legitimacy that this country, North America, is growing as a footballing nation, and they are ready to host in 2026. And I think like Mexico, Canada, and USA are going to make Qatar. I think that's pretty much what's going to happen. That fourth spot is up for grabs. I was really disappointed with Honduras. I really thought they could win at home. In Panama, I mean, right now they're the only other they're the only Central American team that won. That's crazy. Costa
Yeah,
Rica,
and well,
Honduras, El Salvador, nothing, man, nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Panama's been a team that, as we've mentioned it here, their connections with the Colombian league and bringing in coaches and all that,
Mm-hmm.
and then the country because they were, baseball country. I don't know if they're still baseball country, but they really embraced
Yeah.
football and they've kept at it, and that's one of the things, that they've been producing good enough players and they've been able to maintain a level of consistency that teams like Guatemala and El Salvador, they just can't either. They've been at it longer and they just can't get there anymore. I don't know what happened to them. I don't know if they're not eating their Wheaties. I don't
They
know
got to get
what's
back.
going on.
They got to bring back Pescadito Reese from
They,
retirement.
yeah, well, see, look, Guate is a team that's never qualified to a World Cup.
Wow.
Salvador's been to two World Cups, 1970, 1982. They got that smackdown from Hungary. That I don't, I don't think Hungary qualified after that. I think they were like, okay, we've done enough. It's like they both paid the iron price, because
Wow.
they both disappeared. But but that's it. You haven't heard from those teams. And then you've had, of course, like Honduras and Costa Rica, and Costa Rica had that, really good generation of talent.
Yep.
They had it for a while, but their 2014 team was the one that really impressed. And like, they failed to build on that, and it's difficult. It's not that easy to stay the course. So I don't know what's going on over there because I haven't kept tabs on their teams, you know,
I
to be like to get a good glimpse of like why why they're doing they're performing underperforming, I should say, for you know
all right, this might sound crazy, but I don't think Jamaica's out of it anytime soon. They didn't get their players released from the Prem League, and from a lot of parts of Europe, so they haven't really been able to play with their best side. And I would still not underestimate Jamaica, even though they're in dead last. Um, I mean, there's four teams with two. It's like really not that, like a win could put them back into
yeah.
contention. So I would not. I mean, there's a lot of games. There's 8 teams instead of 6 in this qualifier. So there's 2 more extra games that teams have to play. So it's going to be a total of 14 games. That's a lot. There a lot can happen between now and then.
you
So
know you're right, Jaime, you're right. I will not discount them.
so Mexico will kick things back up next month. It's a lot sooner than we expected. Only a couple weeks from now, they're going to play against Canada, Honduras, and El
Wait, are they
Salvador.
playing at home? Mex playing at home?
Mexico will be playing at home for the Canada game and the Honduras game, and then they'll finish
and
in
and
in El Salvador.
and I think we came to the consensus that they would be better off playing in an empty stadium.
Oh yeah,
That way, the fans don't turn on them 10 minutes in. Just
those
like entertain me.
save the Canadians from bags of urine and batteries being thrown at them.
Oh,
That is the like ongoing, you know.
well, it did happen. And I mean, it would happen not just the national team in league play. I would see it a lot. Player will go take a corner kick and they'll rain upon him, cups of stuff. And it's like, did they really dump their their $12 tall boy on that guy? Did they, or did they refill it with something else? And and I haven't seen it in a while, but I haven't seen as much games as I used to.
Uh-huh.
But you would see like the police with the riot shields, they will go and just stand behind the player
Wow.
to shield him. So this stuff that did happen, I don't know if it's happening. I didn't see those other games, but and I know you're referencing this article. from the LA Times. They were talking about how difficult it could be playing in the road,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, and the writer of the article caught a lot of heat because they were saying he was like, I don't know the word, man. I don't think it was racist, or was it thinly veiled? I think it was a bit overboard, the
Mm-hmm.
critique.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, on the writer, I'm saying, even though I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says, not on that article, on other stuff. But yeah, I've seen stuff like that happen, and it has happened.
And finally, to put a bow tie on the league, Selección Mexicana, there is a image that's been leaked, it's been floating around,
Oh,
and it's looks like Mexico might get another escudo, might get another badge, another logo, and it doesn't look very good. Have you seen it
yeah.
with the
It,
eagle and the?
I mean, I thought someone did that on like MS Paint,
I know, me
and
too.
I thought it was like those mock logos, like, hey, this would look cool.
Yeah,
And I was seeing it, and I was like, the concept is good. The execution is pretty bad, but I see the concept. I see it could probably work, but it's actually supposedly that's what the FMF submitted for copyright
yeah.
issues. And yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty amateur. It's like an eagle,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't look like the Mexican eagle because
Yeah, it looks like
the
it's like from the Middle
current
East.
one. Yeah, the current eagle on the Mexican flag looks like the Mexican eagle from the flag or the money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one it looks doesn't. Yeah, if it was by itself, you wouldn't think it's Mexican. And then is it on a ball?
It's on a ball. Yeah, it's on a soccer ball.
It, it yeah, and then it's like it's a circular thing, and
Yeah,
then the circle around it sort of looks like the
the calendar.
yeah, like the calendar without the details, just
Yeah,
like the
it kind of looks like the S pesos.
yeah,
Mo-
yeah, it does. Like the 10 pesos coin
the
simplified.
coin, yeah, the coin, just like the not even the inner, just the outer ring that's like gold.
There you go, the outer ring. It's yeah, no, I don't know whose idea that was.
Here's my thing. Like, look, and I can't even think of a nation that's won the World Cup that still has a soccer ball in their badge. Just like kill it off completely. Like, we don't need to put a soccer ball. Like, that's just like that's like those generic trophies that you get when you're like 5 years old. Has like the soccer ball in it. I'm like, dude, like this is we're a grown team, man. It's like we just have like a cool original logo that involves our culture, like Aztec culture, Mayan culture, and all like, it's like we have so much culture in Mexico, and it's just like you could turn this into like one of those volunteer projects, and you'll get way better entries than whoever made this one.
Yeah, if you had like had the fans
They should do a
submit.
contest. That would be the best way to squash this.
Yeah, it would. And I agree with you. They don't need to they don't need they don't need to do all that.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's been from the I wonder if it's been like Nike or whatever, like pressuring them
could be.
just to do a different escudo for it to be more simplified because they've done that. We even have there's even a video of like Ramon Ramirez talking about how why Nike stopped doing the Chivas shirt, and there was like disputes with the sponsors because like Nike had redone the Soul logo. They simplified it. They just had the letters. They took out like the some of the colors and all that, and the Soul was losing their shit. And they
Mm,
wanted they and but little things like that. And sometimes they do stuff like that. I guess I don't know how
I
they
just
save money with
I
these things.
I know Mexico was sponsored by Levi's in '78, and their badge was a lot different. It was pretty.
simple.
Yeah, because they changed it. I think they've changed it like 3 times.
Mm.
So yeah, like in the 81, I don't know if it was like I remember the older one. It was just like bigger. It looked very similar, but just a bit more bigger and clunkier. But I don't remember the first one though. I need to go back.
Yeah.
I'll do a Google search.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Um,
find like a history of the badge, but I can't find it. But
you
I
could put history of the shirts, and then you
mm,
could see them there.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
and you'll see like the first Mex shirt was burgundy,
Yep.
and their shorts were like navy or like a blue.
Blue shorts and the burgundy top. Yep. That's right.
Yeah, I think after the and then in 1950 Brazil World Cup they used I think it was the Grêmio uniform. They used it for a match, and the
Oh,
Grêmio uniform
it was
is
green.
stripes, blue and white stripes.
Oh, okay.
Well, I hope I'm not getting the team wrong, but it's one with it's a stripes, and they had to use it because I think they were playing Poland and they had like very similar
Interesting.
color scheme, and so they used that, and I think after that is when they went with let's just use the flag colors.
Okay.
I would like to see that though, like a retro one off
Yeah.
that's striped because they did use it for a World Cup game. So
Interesting.
I would like a jersey like that, like a you know one of those anniversary ones. Because I do have the burgundy one. Atletica made one.
Cuando el Tri usó playera de gremio en el mundial. Wow. That's so interesting. Unfortunately, the photo's in black and white, so I don't know. I don't know what color it
Well,
is.
yeah, you would have to search like history of Gremio and then just see
Wow.
if they always had the same colors because sometimes
They
teams
switch.
like yeah or like change the color scheme a bit.
I think
We all
it was
remember
blue and black stripes. Yeah.
we all remember Puebla with that orange. It was just, that was so
Oh,
bad.
wow.
Oh man, I don't know.
There's a team that was bought by I think he was Asian, and their traditional colors were blue, and then he's like, "Well, I like dragons and I like the color red." And they made them change their whole like logo and jersey and everything. It was so bad.
He's got one Dragons Red Fire. What's it? Would you prefer that, or would you prefer the owner that has his son playing? Which one would you go with, man? Change the whole
I don't know,
uniform and
man.
badge, or just let Fat Boy here get some minutes every game and wear the captain's armband?
I think I'd rather deal with the sun issue. Like I remember Leaño for Tecos. He would play. He
Yeah,
was trash.
he I was gonna say he wasn't that bad, but no, I agree. If he wasn't related, he probably wouldn't have been
It was
played as much.
Cardiff City. That's the team. There we go. Vincent Tan. Yeah. 114-year club. He just says, I like dragons and red. Deal with it.
He didn't care, dude.
He didn't
114,
care,
whatever.
man. It makes sense though,
He's from China, dude. They have stuff that's like over 5,000 years old. They have viejitos that are older than 114. Like my nan is 120. He's like, look your history. Give me dragons.
Well, speaking about old and boring, let's talk about this Pumas Chivas game that happened on Sunday. Oh boy. Liga MX
man.
action came back after the World Cup qualifiers, and we had this game on Sunday. Really random time, 3, not the normal 10 a.m. for Pumas. They played at 3 o'clock, no fans, and it was probably the worst game of the Jornada 8. no goals and some missed chances from Chivas, and another draw against the team with the worst offense. It's not looking good.
Yeah, and but Chivas offense hasn't. They suffered. First, they lost JJ Mack, and then Vega was injured in the qualifiers.
Yep.
So that that put Chivas also in a tough spot. They haven't quite had any for a long time any luck with strikers, with having very consistent
That's right.
delanteros. And so it does hurt them to not have that. That's why, for me, I haven't been critical of Wuse the way a lot of fans are. And I get it with the whole tactics and the whole how they play and whatnot. But at the same time, we just can't discount this dude has not gotten one player that to say, okay, he could put the Wuse stamp seal of approval. He hasn't gotten anything. He's lost players.
Yeah.
And so I think people are being like overly harsh, but it's also not just it's not just because of him or to say like Pelaez or Amauri. It's just how the league changed, and I know I said this before, but I was looking at the number of foreigners, and if it was for last season,
Mm-hmm.
it was 183.
Jesus.
183 foreigners. So before the rules, which is I think it's the 9-9 rule, I think it is.
Uh,
So it allows the clubs to have like just unlimited foreigners, but they could only have 9 in the field or something like that. Anyways, that opened the floodgates. Ones that came in, and so what that means.
Yeah, I know. Like Tijuana used to be the biggest culprit of that rule because they would never line up with Mexicans. There'd be like maybe two in the starting lineup. And I remember,
yeah, they
and I
had to like
remember, like,
switch it up.
I remember growing up as a kid, there was like that rule where you couldn't have more than like four on the field,
Yeah,
right?
it was 4 and 5, so I
Four
think
and
you could
five,
have
yeah.
5, but I think in the F you can only have 4, or it could have been the other way around. But yeah, in 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 Mexico City, it was, I don't know if it was one less, but yeah, it was only like 5 foreigners. And but see now, you know, before the rule, it was like 80. There would be like 80 extranjeros in the league. So now we see 183. But then, so it's like, okay, that doesn't mean that there's 103 extra players. That means that there's 103 less Mexicans,
Yeah.
because that's who they replace. They replace
Spots.
Mexican
Yeah.
players. Teams didn't just go from 23 or 27 to close to 40 players. They just got rid of all which is um, why we saw these leagues pop up. Liga de, I don't know, there was 2 or 3 leagues that popped up
Yeah.
in Mexico, and that
Liga
was
de
part of it
Balompié or
because
something.
exactly because they saw like, look at all these players that are going to be, that all these clubs are going to be releasing. We could we could probably do something here, and that was the reason for that. But so now if you're Chivas, you're going to the Mercado de Piernas. It used to be like going to Costco and you could get deals and you could buy in abundance. Now but after the 103 are
Now
gone,
you're at the grocery outlet trying to get something that's all about to expire.
no, yeah, you're you're trying to shop for toilet paper during the COVID, the Rona scare. You're not gonna find it anywhere. So it's that's what's been going on, and you see Chivas not just this season, but like maybe the last 3 or 4, where they haven't been able to buy like talent. They got some with when Pelaez came, and they got some of the Necaxa guys and all
Yep.
that, and they were like that kind of small window open. But like overall, we've seen them just struggling to buy players.
Yeah.
Uh,
He
I posted an article Well, it was a quote from Almeida, and this is from 2018. And his quote was, everyone, todos se reforzaron mejor que nosotros. And that's been going on for a long time. And we saw how it affected him too. And I'm just bringing Almeida because I know he's the guy that the Chiva Hermanos respect. But even he was struggling with that. And he ended up 2 seasons where his last 2 seasons in league, where he finished 15th and 17th. And that
Yeah.
was a big thing
We
about
didn't
it
get
too,
it to
because
Liguilla. Yep.
he himself lost players, and then they really couldn't bring him in anything. And that was
They were trying to split up the team when, he won everything with them. He was starting to they started
and
selling pieces.
that's gonna be the big problem, and it's gonna continue being the problem. Uh, Chivas is working on youth again. They sort of dropped the ball big time because at one point they had like the best youth academy. Now they don't. I don't know where they fall exactly, but I know they've been working pretty hard to bring it back to task. And that's the other Leaño, that's Michel, that's
Yep.
been
He's been working on
heading that
that.
project. So, but that it's youth. It could take 4 or 5 years because
Yeah.
you're working with kids that are as young as 12 to 14. So 5 years, that 14 is going to be 19-year-old and the 12-year-old is going to be 17. And if you were doing a good job and you got some, some good talent, then you're going to start seeing it. It's going to, resurface. So it's the long wait for Chivas. And then I don't know. Aside from that, because what's us also hurting them is selling players. They haven't been able to sell anyone.
Yeah, they've
They're
been
not even trophy.
loaning. They've
That
been
was,
loaning.
that was even one of my fights with, because all the trophy believers is like, okay, if he's as good as you say, how come Liga MX teams are not lining
Yeah.
up to take him?
Everybody knows that he's a
Chivas put him on bargain bin with 3 markdowns on manager special, and no one took him. No one would touch him. And Jaime is a big thing because okay, you get trophies, or you could just go to Argentina or Chile and bring in someone, you know, a similar style player with more that's more consistent, that could probably, you
and
pay less
his
wages.
wages will be less too.
Yeah, because he was
People don't
earning a
know,
lot.
like Trophies was making a lot of money. Not a lot of people can like match that in Liga MX. He's not even in the MLS. In San Jose, he had to take a pay cut.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I'm a bit disappointed, man, because I was really hoping that him and even Güero Fierro would light up the league. I said at least equal what Kubo did, because Kubo had really, he did really well for a while there,
Mm-hmm.
but none of these guys have been able to do much. Or I think once their loan is up, they're probably going to be released, and they'll probably end up in Liga de Balompié, or I don't know where they'll end up, Jaime.
Yeah, I have no idea, but it's definitely a slippery slope for Trophies. San Jose got him with a loan for I think 18 months, with the option to buy at the end. I don't know if they're gonna option that. I don't know if they're gonna try and buy him at the end of his loan. Probably not. And there's another rumor going around that Ricardo Peláez is working on bringing Matias back. How much of that do you believe?
Zero.
Really?
Zero. Yeah, that's promoter talk.
Oh.
Because he said that they're restarting the project, and that's where I knew that it's a bunch of BS. You know, where that was the article said that they're gonna kickstart the project and they want Matias there,
Uh-huh.
and that's sort of like saying, okay, I don't believe what Michel is doing is gonna bring us results, and whatever plans I had, they didn't work, and I don't believe that. I feel that Chivas is where they expected them to be, and especially with all the struggles that they're having. So even now, with fans saying the team is trash, the team is trash, they're only 5 points from first place and 4 points from no, not first place, because America's first place, and
That's
they've
20.
They got 20. They're 5 points from second place and 4 points from third place. And so that kind of shows you just how the league, Liga MX, just how tight it is. It's tightly fought. And again, that whole 8899 whatever rule, because then you do have the Juarez's and the Atlético San Luis. Some of these teams now they're able to reinforce themselves pretty good. Um, Atlas just got this Ecuadorian. I don't know if he's an Ecuadorian national player, but
Hmm.
he was the first Ecuadorian to go to the French league.
Oh,
I guess it didn't go too well for him, but he
Quiñones?
should be. No, they brought him from France.
Oh, okay.
They just got him like a day or two ago.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, you're seeing these teams that usually they will struggle to bring in players now. They're able to be a bit more competitive because they could bring more players. So it's like a numbers game, you know. Like before you brought 3 4 players, they were crap. You continued bringing crap, but now you could bring 10 players. Two of those are decent, and so now you're a bit stronger. And the other team, and if, ironically they play Chivas. Pumas is the other team I feel is having a hard time because
Yeah.
for being a quote unquote grande, they seem to have the budget of a Necaxa or not, not even Tijuana budget. They seem to have a budget of a bottom of the table team because they don't really bring in good players. They try to like find a gem in the rough. They I don't know what's going on over there, but I know that's been hurting them too now that they're very similar to Chivas because at one point Pumas was the main cantera.
Hmm.
That was Mexico's cantera, man. You had all the big names coming out, Brody, Hugo, Suarez, just all these big names. They were all
Yeah.
all products of Pumas Unam, and now it's like it's just a player every now and then. It's not nothing like what it used to be, and so I feel that they're one of the other teams that are also hurting from this rule. I think just more because of the whatever is. I don't know, man. They penny pinching over there and say, "Oh, man, we need to talk to a Puma hermano," and it's like, what's going
Yeah.
on
What
with
is
your
going on, man?
directiva, man? You know the joke there. We all know the joke. The whole Regiomontanos, they're codos,
Uh-huh.
like you always hear how, but it's the opposite because the Regiomontano teams are the ones spending the most money bringing in all these players. But it used to be like that.
They got
Monterrey
that
son bien
steel money.
codos.
I found
Yeah,
the
like it
player,
was like
Anibal
the
Chala.
player. There you go.
Played for Toluca, loaned out to Dijon. Didn't work out for him. Now he's back.
Well, there you go. So he's been in Mex. But see, they're able to bring players like that. So
For sure. So you're saying that the chances of Matias returning to Chivas, it's all smoke.
super long story short, I took a bunch of left turns on that. Yeah, I don't think Pelaez is admitting defeat because, as I pointed out, 5 from second, 4 from third. I don't think he's throwing in the towel. I know there's been a big campaign just against Chivas to just make the team look bad. I know there's a lot of outside sources that have always been wanting to like knock down the club, even former socios and promoters and whatnot because they want to put their stake into the team. Have their people there, and so yeah, I don't, and like I said here before, I think Pelaez would leave before Buse, unless it's a total breakdown, which we haven't really seen.
Mm-hmm.
So unless there's a breakdown between both of them, or the club just goes to complete like utter shit, where they're getting, you know, defeated 5-0. You know, they look like chickens with their heads cut off. Unless it gets to that point, I don't think he's gonna sack Buse, who's pretty much, man. And see, it's funny. You were talking about why how Nacho is in Spain. You know, taking these, just doing less. And it's same with Buse because this is a guy. He's won a lot of tournaments. He's well-known coach, and to be at Chivas, he has to like coach a team like with one arm tied behind his back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
And it's killing his image. This dude is known as the King Midas, and now he's like I don't know what word to use, but there's a lot of bad words the fans would like to add to him, and it's like, do you really think he just forgot? He forgot how to play. You know, again, it's so much that we don't get to see,
We
so
got
it's easy
fool's
to
gold.
criticize. But
We didn't get King Minus. We got fool's gold.
there you go,
We got the
man. That's
yeah. I
it's
mean,
just
I'm
it's
not
just
discrediting.
gold coated.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is capable. He has a really impressive pedigree, and we're just gonna have to. I mean, I already thought this season was dead on arrival for Chivas when Peláez decided to renew his contract. So I mean, we just got to deal with this guy for a couple more months and see what happens and see if
And
any of these rumors actually are
but
true.
and you know, Jaime, the improvement has been there. It's just not the improvement the fans want, and it's not as good as they would like because Chivas went 5 seasons, straight seasons, without being able to qualify to Liguilla. That means they weren't finishing top 8. And so since he came in, they finished what they finished 8th when they went to semifinals. What place were they in? Like
I
7th or
believe they
8th?
were in 7th.
Yeah, and then they qualified again when they lost in repechaje, but
Yeah,
that's when the league screwed them over with the Alas because they should have finished in 8th.
yeah, they
And but they
finished.
gave Atlas the bonus points.
Vucetic took over after like 4 matches because Stena got fired, and that was his rookie season as coach for Chivas, and we went to semis, and then in the Clausura we went to 9th, and then we lost in the repechaje.
But that one should have been 8th,
Yeah, yeah. Well, considering
right?
Atlas, yeah,
So he's kept them. He's had them at least above 10th, where the team was in. They were finishing 11th,
mm-hmm.
13th, 15th, 17th. That already there is a slight improvement. It shows things are better than they were. But for fans, like again, they want. You're looking at the doblete team from Almeida, and it's like, dude,
It's not the
the
same.
chances of that, the chances of that happening, it's gonna be slim,
Yeah,
slim, just because again the rule changes and all of that, and all of those players came from Pachuca, man. I mean, not Grupo Pachuca.
yeah.
That was like I don't know what deal had happened, but they sort of like because I mean they could just keep the players between them, especially those a lot of those guys were national team players. Callito, what's that other
Cota,
guy? Drinks a lot. Uh,
Gully.
no, no, not Pulido. Pulido came from Tigres.
No, I said Gully.
Gulli, yeah, Gulli. There you go. It was him. And Cota was a national team, but he was kind of there. But he did
Montes.
become. But no, Montes didn't come to Chivas.
Oh, that's right.
They did want him, but no. But I mean, it's gonna be hard for that,
Yeah.
for that to happen. I know, like bringing in Antuna, Peláez got a lot of criticism, and he's become a national team player, and so like you could at least give him that win, man. He brought in one player that's selección, and now there's like him and there's about two. It was three at one point. Macias, Vega, and
Antuna.
Antuna,
Yeah.
but we went through a long time with like
Yeah.
zero representation. So I mean, there's things there to show that the team's improving, and so yeah, that's why with fans is like, how do you want to throw everything away just because
Hmm.
it's not easy, you know? It's not gonna be easy, and it's it's one of those. It's just gonna take some time to see the results of what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I don't think anybody from 2018 came from Chivas. Um, the World Cup roster. I don't think Carlos Salcedo was with Chivas at that point, and Marco Fabian either. So yeah, that was like one of the
Yeah, no active players.
yeah,
There are players that had been at
yeah,
Chivas,
but there was
but
yeah.
no active.
I'm gonna go over a few results around the league, and then I'll get to our last topic of the night. Puebla kicked things off for match week 8. They tied 2-2 against Atletico San Luis. They are currently in 14th position, and San Luis, they're in 9th, tied on points with Chivas. León and Tigres tied as well, 2-2. Actually, sorry, that was the wrong click. Juarez beat Cruz Azul 2-1.
Wait, what was wrong? Didn't tie?
No, I was looking
Leon
at an
and
older result. Oh no, actually no, that was right. León and Tigres tied
it
2-2.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so but we've seen just really quick there
Yeah.
because we had Piojo, and he was for a while there. It looked like things were falling apart for him, but I think he's managed to turn it around.
Yeah. Yeah, Tigres are in 4th with 13. León right there next to him with 15 points. As far as Juarez, that was a very big victory for them. They're still in last place,
Tuca got his win though.
but beating
Uh,
Cruz Azul, yeah, it's kind of a shocker there.
it's kind of a big deal. Well, I mean, they do have a good coach, you know, and that's some of the things that we forget sometimes, where it's like some of these small teams, you know, just because uh, they're small teams and they don't have much, they probably won't have that big name player, but every now and then they'll have some of the things that could align with them, and that'll be enough to get them a win here and there. I mean, Tuca, I bet, knows all of the Liga MX teams like the back of his hand.
Yeah.
And a lot of those coaches, he knows them too, man. He's played against them or seen them play. You know, can't discount the old toucan there.
Yeah. And to be fair, Juarez doesn't really have much of a squad, so I mean, it's impressive. Um, they do have Oscar Macias, who is a loanee from Chivas. He's a player that was doing really well at Tapatio, so I'm really disappointed they loaned him out to Juarez. I was kind of hoping he would play for Chivas. Um,
Striker?
he's like a midfielder.
Oh,
Yeah.
they
Tijuana
need, they,
beats.
they need striker.
Huh?
I said they need striker. Go
Yeah.
on.
Tijuana beat Santos 2-1. Took stoppage time to beat them, penalty kick. And Santos, they just lost right now to Seattle Sounders in the Leagues Cup. So they're eliminated. So that is a painful defeat for Santos. Not a good week for them.
You said it was Ridaz that injected them.
Yup.
He was one of my favorite players. I was surprised that no other Liga team tried to retain him, but I think he wanted to come to live over here. So there probably was offers. I just think he wanted to move his family to the U.S.
That's the kind of player that usually gets poached by like America. You know what I mean? Like a striker.
Oh yeah, well, I mean a lot of teams. 'Cause
Yeah.
he will score some golazos, man. This guy.
Especially with Morelia, he did such a great job there. I'm surprised that he didn't stay in Liga MX. Um, it's kind of like when Cabañas was killing it at Juarez, and then America came in and said, "We'll take that, thank you." Same thing with Wuoso. I just feel like America always poaches all these like really good strikers within the league. But yeah, I mean, they lose to Seattle Sounders in this League's Cup, which is a reincarnation of basically the Superliga. This joint effort between Liga MX and MLS to try and make shit happen. The other semifinalists will be tomorrow, Leon and Pumas. So
Okay, so there'll be one Mexican team in the final.
there will be one Mexican team in the final, but you definitely don't want Pumas.
How they get that far? I have to wonder. They
They
can't even.
they beat New York City on penalties in the quarterfinals. Yeah. Go figure.
Yeah, Leon. Leon has like RG coach, and man, these guys love winning these cups. That's the one thing I give them credit. It could be a Molero Cup, but they go all out, and I know he wants his first trophy at Leon, especially because he started with a defeat. His first game was a
Mm-hmm.
cup game. It's like a super cup or
Yeah,
something like
that's
that.
right. Mm-hmm.
But I know he's gonna want it, so I do see him throwing the proverbial toda la carne al asador to come out
Yeah.
with his
And
first. Yeah.
Liini already talked about leading up to this cup that, hey, we have other priorities. This
I
league's cup
believe.
this league's cup is not something that it's fun to compete in, but it's not necessarily like so he basically admitted like he doesn't care about tomorrow's match. And
No, and that's sort of like contradicts me with the whole RG coaches like playing for these Molero Cups because Olan and Iliani are both RGs, but I think the difference being that Pumas is just a thin, they're stretched thin. They're
yeah,
doing like shit. They just can't. He, he can't afford to keep doing so bad in the league. He knows at the end of the day that's what's going to be prioritized more.
yeah, yeah. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow for Pumas and Leon. The winner of that will play Seattle Sounders in the final, which will be next Wednesday on the 22nd. Back to Liga MX scores. So Santos with that defeat are still in sixth place. And then you had Atlas beat Monterrey 2-1. It's a big victory for them. Atlas in fifth position. Man, the little brother's doing better than us right now.
Well, I mean, I expected them sooner or later to be. I mean, it's Orlegi, Grupo Orlegi
I was
that
about to say,
manages them.
they own Atlas and Santos.
But they don't. I don't know if they own Atlas
But,
because I believe TV Azteca still has a stake, but I
oh,
know they're managing them, and I'm pretty sure one of the big things is player development because now they have two teams
Wikipedia
where they
says that
can
it's Orlegi.
that they own them.
Yeah.
I thought TV Azteca was it maybe their majority.
I don't know, man.
Let me ask the internet. But I mean, Grupo Orlegi showed, they definitely showed that they know what's up with Santos, just how they turned that club around and how they're competing for honors pretty much every 3-4 years. They have a team that's competing for the league title.
It says
And so,
Mexican sports company Grupo Orlegi has reached a deal to acquire a Guadalajara-based soccer team Atlas from broadcaster TV Azteca. It says that in a statement under the terms of the deal, the broadcaster will obtain a 33% equity stake in a unit of Orlegi.
okay, so Orlegi owns the majority, and then Azteca has like
Yeah, like a third, a third of it.
It's like we need to keep what is it? Having them on the TV station.
Yeah. Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, in the States at least, Santos games are broadcasted on Fox Sports.
Yeah, and that's one of the big. That's one of the things that I think. But was it Grupo Pachuca, Grupo Orlegui, some of the Monterrey teams where they were trying to acquire Fox Sports and then have all their teams playing under the same station. And I don't know what happened there, but that would have
Oh.
been interesting. I do think we will eventually see something because of just of streaming and all that stuff. I do think eventually we'll see a Mexican league where the televisoras don't hold as much sway as they once did.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
it's eventually we'll see something where it's uh, just how Netflix came up and all that stuff. So it's
Yeah.
something like that's bound to happen, and people are just gonna go to the streaming.
So we talked about that. We talked about America, first place, 20 points, beat Mazatlan 2-0. And they are just cruising, man, with Santiago Solari as coach. They are the best team in the league. Do you think they're favorites to win the league?
I I I never do like favorites just because the Mexican league has, um, they have liguilla and that throws predictions.
Out the
If it
window?
was just
Yeah.
if it was just on points, I would say yeah. I would put them there. They were on a tear last season, and they've maintained. Uh, but I would say they are one of the, like, if you had like top four contenders to win it,
Yeah.
they're definitely there. Yeah.
I am definitely not looking forward to the Super Clásico 2 weekends from now.
Yeah. Hopefully Vega is that's that's what Chivas is hoping on. Is he gonna be match fit?
Yeah. If I was him, I'd probably skip that match. Not only just because, it might be pretty lopsided, but coming off of an injury, sprained ankle, and we already know these games are very intense, very aggressive. I mean, we all saw what El Pollo Briseño did to Giovanni's thigh, left like 2 big holes in there.
Wait,
And
wait. Now you mentioned Giovanni. What happened? Where is Gio? I
you
know
know what?
America let him go, and
You know what's
what happened
funny?
to that
I
dude?
was just looking him up. Like, what happened to Gio? He hasn't been playing. He has no team right now. And the latest rumor is that he's going back to Spain, playing for Zaragoza.
Oh,
But that's just the
okay.
rumor. That's not even, And they're in the second division, dog. They're not even in the first division. So, I mean, this is bad. You're telling me no team in Mexico wants to get a free agent? Giovanni?
Yeah, I think when you get a bad rep, or it's just hard, and then also I think his wages. I think he was asking for too much money.
Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. This guy played for Barcelona, man, at one point.
Yeah, and Tottenham and
What happened to Bojan? Because I feel like he was the guy that he was trying to fight for.
Bojan Creek.
This dude's
Also,
playing at
yeah.
Vissel Kobe. That's in Japan, man. He's in Japan right now. What? That's crazy. But you remember, like, it was Gio versus Bojan, and they picked Bojan in the end. And Gio went to Spurs.
Yeah, he didn't want to wait. He wanted he felt he should be playing first team. I don't know if that was. There was talk that his dad was like misleading him, like just at one point,
Mm,
and so I think that was probably one of his mistakes
yeah,
leaving.
definitely.
And the bad luck too, because he went to Spurs because I don't know if it was Rafa Benitez, but there's a Spanish coach that took him, and then that guy only lasted like a month,
I
and then
know.
a new coach came in and just erased him,
Harry Redknapp.
and
Yeah, he
it's
just
crazy because he just what
he said he warned him to stay away from nightclubs and revealed that he was often late for trainings on Mondays.
oh, all right, so then it wasn't the coach.
Nah, this guy was a
See,
party animal,
I
dude.
yeah, I guess he just didn't have the same patience that Benitez would have. So I don't really blame him. And it was crazy because when they presented Gio, the guy being presented next to Gio, Luka Modric.
Really?
Yeah, so it's interesting to see how their careers, ended up. Uh,
He was named in the long list for Balón de Oro in 2016. What the hell? That is crazy. Wow. Fun fact. So yeah, I mean Gio's he's a free agent right now.
Damn,
That's
too
crazy.
much partying.
Querétaro beats Necaxa 3-0. Pablo Barrera still playing. I don't know why. I thought he was like retired, but no, he's still out there. He's still playing.
Me too. He was so good at one point.
I remember
That's gonna be trophies, man. You're gonna be reading the results of like
you know who's also still
Juarez.
playing? Pina
Who?
Arellano.
Oh yeah, man. But poor Pina, he's like made of porcelain, and he suffered too many injuries. But man, at one point,
He's actually he was at Querétaro and now he's playing in the Crickets of Oaxaca. Or Grasshoppers. Sorry, Grasshoppers.
oh, that's an actual team. I thought you were playing. Um, is that what league is that? Is that like
It's the third division.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. But that guy was very talented. He scored some golazos. I was seeing a goal he scored against a Brazilian team.
Oh man, it
I
was
forgot
beautiful.
which one, but it was at like a hard angle, and it was just his run because he was so fast. And that's what made him score that golazo because he got to the ball way before the defender could close the angle on him. But he was like, he came out around the same time as Chicharo, but
Yeah.
for a short while, he was like all the spotlights were on him.
He was lightning in a bottle, man, and it was short lived, but I do
Yeah,
appreciate those goals that he scored for Chivas, especially in Libertadores, man. I mean, that goal he scored was incredible, man. Atlético Paranarense.
that's the one. It was.
So that was Querétaro. So they are currently in 15th position. Necaxa in repechaje, 11th position. I'm sure that's happy. That's good news for Eva Longoria and Mesut Özil and Verlander, all these people that have invested in Necaxa. They're having a better season than last, I'll tell you that. Then to end match week 8, Pachuca lost to Toluca 2-1. That leaves Toluca in second position. 17 points for Toluca.
Yeah,
Is Cristante still the coach? Man.
yeah. He came back and he turned it around.
Good for them. that concludes match week 8. We're going to have some interesting matches this weekend. Toluca and America will play each other. So first versus second, that's definitely probably going to be the match of the week. And Monterrey Tigres, that should be fun. And Chivas will play Pachuca, so not very confident about this one. They're at home.
Yeah.
Well, that pretty much concludes episode 302 of Cantina MX Football Podcast. Do you have any closing thoughts before we tie a bow on this thing?
Oh no, sir. I'm pretty much sad. Don't we have is doble jornada? Isn't there games on Thursday?
There's a game on Thursday, Atlético San Luis and Tijuana, yeah.
Oh, but not doble jornada. It's
No,
like
it's just
making up.
yeah.
Make up. All right. I thought a big doble jornada, but no. I'm still keeping the faith. I'm keeping the faith in Chivas.
Well, you're one of the few. Everybody's pretty much given up on this season, but the good news is there's 12 spots, and I'm sure Chivas are guaranteed to get one of those 12 spots, and that's all you need to make a run at it in the playoffs.
So yeah, see.
Well, thank everyone for joining us tonight, and we will catch you next week. Peace.